These few days I have many very interesting discussions on Siu-Lim-Tao training, on how to get both qualitative and quantitative result from Siu-Lim-Tao training. And the following is what I'd like to share with you. Okay? The first issue we need to go through, even though this is a very hard to swallow issue, is about the teacher. And there is three types of teacher. The first type of teacher is the guy doesn't know what it is he's talking about. So there's no way for him to teach. And one day he might come and interpret one way, the next day might be the other way. And the student just go round and round, and actually, really, you can spend a lifetime but don't know where to go. That's the first type. The second type is the very talented Sifu. He might have the Kung Fu, but he will like similar to the professor, the math professor in the college, where he said, well, step 1 to step 3 is obvious. But the student who sit under there, look at the math, have no idea why is it obvious from step 1 to step 3. Okay? So that type of Sifu can only teach gifted person or talented student. And you can see this by the effectiveness of the student, where he might teach 100 people, but maybe one who understand what he's talking about, or who can do whatever it is. But the rest 99% of the people really still go nowhere. And after a few months or a few years, it just simply go nowhere. The third type of teacher is a guy who really knows what's going on and be able to very clearly point out every steps. And that's very, very rare. Okay? In my almost 40 years of searching and having many different teachers, that's very, very rare. Okay? So this is what needs to be faced. This is reality. Okay? Now, for me, I like to look at this thing in an engineering way, not the teacher, the Sifu say this, you do this, and so forth way, because there's too fuzzy, and it's very unreliable. Okay? So I look at it this way. Say in Yit Kam Kuen Kit, the writing of Yit Kam, it tells you directly the first few sentences. This is an advanced art. Okay? I mean, this is not something anybody can train it, go train it. People have to have some foundation to be able to take it. And especially for, say, Mei Se Zhuang, the mother art of this Siu-Lim-Tao, is even worse, because there's a lot of details there. So it's not everybody say, oh yeah, I want to train this, and you can go and train it, mimic the thing, but will never get any result out of it. Most of people don't get result. Okay? So that's the second issue. Okay, like people like to jump from one step to the fifth step without knowing there's 4 steps there in between. Okay? And the third issue is this. As in my other YouTube video, I talk about the 3 core elements: the physical, the mind, the breathing, and there's 10 steps that, or 10 levels, or 10 things need to be trained there. So, be it Siu-Lim-Tao, or Zhan Zhuang, or Mei Se Zhuang, if that 10 thing is not clear up or really be able to handle at least to the minimum, then it is hopeless, because it's keeping missing here, missing there, and so forth. Okay? So for most Siu-Lim-Tao, you just check the 10 things with the 3 core elements, you can see whether one can get anything out from it or not. It's as simple as that, if you do it systematic way. Okay? So for me, instead of go jumping into the Xiu Lim Tao, oh yeah, advanced art, blah blah blah, get the basic science, the basic details, the basic fundamental, train, solid. The 10 state of the 3 elements need to be trained. Otherwise, it is very unstable and unreliable. So, do I have solution for this? Yes. I can share with you what I think and what it works. The reason I create, or I compose, I should not say I create, I compose the YKT 01234 is for intermediate step before one can train Xiu Lim Tao. To open up the body, to handle the 3 core elements, to handle the 10 state. When one gets familiar with it and be able to really handle it, then only after that one can go into the Xiu Lim Tao or the concrete or the writing and so forth. Okay? And that is state which we need to identify. If one have a teacher, then one be able to, the teacher be able to coach one to identify what it is one need to attain or achieve or handle. That is say for example, about open the body, the loose out the body, the lightweight, all this physiology stuff. The teacher need to identify for one. For example, open up the body. If one never be able to open up, identify what is it mean for open up the body, never have the experience, one will never know how to work on it because one don't know what it is. So it's boiled out like the first type of the Sifu I mentioned, or just do it that way, just keeping training. What if he doesn't know what the heck he's still going to train? How the heck the student know what to train? So, for the open of the body, I make people go lay down flat, okay, and open up every part of his body while they are laying down, and then identify that is open up. So only after that, when one stand up in the equal stand or parallel stand, one know, oh, this is open up, but my body is not there. Okay? Same thing with breathing, how you open up the breathing and so forth. Okay? Now then you say, well, if I live in another side of the world, how can I identify it? For me, I think it's not that difficult. We can use technology as a standard reference. Okay? So I have 2 standard reference, which is I told people, if you cannot do this, it doesn't matter. You can tell me you train Qigong internal art for a lifetime. But if you cannot do this, 2 things, if you cannot pass the monitoring, then you're not even beginning yet. So what are they? Okay. The first thing is using this M-wave machine. This is a M-wave. Okay. This is for tracking the heart rhythm. Okay, so what is this good for? This is to identify the physiology coherence of our body. Okay, that means your physical, your mind, your breathing, the coherence. Okay, so using this you can check that. Okay, and one can use this machine in laying down or sitting down to find out, to actually experience the state of coherence. And then, when one practices 小念頭 or 真裝 everything, one will use that experience or that reference experience to guide one, so that one know what one is looking for or training towards. Without this, it's hopeless. Everybody just go do 小念頭. What the heck we are doing? So you say, well, what is this coherent got to do with the 小念頭? Well, the modern scientific study and the ancient technology or ancient Kung Fu cultivations, they are just looking at the same thing from different directions. If you have a coherence physiology, that means you are very close to the 10 thing we are talking about in the 3 core elements. But if you're far away from this coherence, then you are somewhere else, not even in the ballpark. So this M-wave machine is, for me, is very important. Okay. The second thing is this rest break. Because everything dealing with breathing, as the other day I'm talking about, even the E.G. Kamyongma is dealing with the breathing. You have to follow the breathings. So the same with, as I told a lot of people who tell me they can train Qigong, I said you put on the rest break and see how far, how deep your breathing can go and how long you can stay in the state. Can you stay 10 minutes, 20 minutes? And you can find out a lot of people, their breathing is very shallow, they couldn't even do for 10, 15 minutes. And some of them even have been in the so-called internal art for decades. So one need to go into here, using this, while sitting down or laying down, to identify that state of the deep breathing and all those very natural breathing state, and how the physiology, the body, the mind, the breathing experience, and then one can use that experience to go to 小念頭, as directions, okay. And the same thing with this M-wave. It's very simple. Hook it up and see how far you can get inside there, how long you can stay in the coherence, or how deep the level can go inside it. That tells what is the Kung Fu. But if we are not even begin yet, then we better start somewhere. Okay? So for me, use this, and use this, and use the 10 level of the 3 elements. Make sure get this basic proper before getting to the 小念頭. Otherwise, it's a mess. You can do a whole lifetime and go nowhere. Okay? So I think the ancient and the modern technology confuse now, and we need to set the standard. Otherwise, there's no qualitative and quantitative result. So this is for you today.